Hello, friends. This is Anthony from Force Ghost Conversations. Are you looking to get into the podcast game yourself? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me tell you, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has some tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Then, when hosting on Anchor, you can even distribute your podcast on listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more places. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And get this, everyone, best of all, Anchor is totally free. Just download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Hello there. Welcome to this episode of Force Ghost Conversations. This is your host, Anthony King, and this week I'm going to take a deep dive look into the trailer for the upcoming video game Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Before we get started, I'm inviting you to join the conversation with us. We can be found on Twitter at Force Ghost Pod. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok just by searching Force Ghost Conversations. We look forward to connecting with you on those platforms. Also, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your listening site of choice. And without further ado, it's time to gather around the campfire for some Force Ghost Conversations. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Force Ghost Conversations. And boy, am I excited to get into today's discussion topic, what have you. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're talking all things about the teaser trailer for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the upcoming video game from EA that is continuing the Star Wars Jedi series, which started a few years ago, I want to say 2019, with the epic game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So now Fallen Order is the first in the series. We're going on to Survivor, and who knows how many more are in this story overall. And honestly, I think that Fallen Order was a really great game. I may talk about some of my gripes with it later, but overall, story-wise and just visually, it's a really fun game. It's great story. It adds a lot to the Star Wars canon and lore overall. So it's really worth your time if you're a gamer and it's something that you want to get into. It's pretty much available on on all the major gaming platforms. I don't know if it's available on the Switch, but I know at least the PlayStation consoles, the Xbox consoles, which I have, and the PC, it is available for. So this teaser, kind of or I guess it's a little bit of a teaser, but it's kind of a trailer at the same time. We're just gonna call it a trailer here. So this trailer dropped in the middle of Star Wars Celebration 2022 that just happened in Anaheim in May. I believe that it dropped on the Friday of Celebration, so just after the premiere of Obi-Wan Kenobi. But there wasn't a panel surrounding this game. Like, there was a lot of speculation about maybe there'd be a panel about this story in the series, and I was kind of hoping for that personally. They did one when the first one came out in the Celebration that took place in Chicago in 2019 in that April. And that was a lot of fun to watch. They live streamed it, especially for us at home that had to be a part of CouchCon, as we affectionately call it here. It's something that we all get to partake in all that, and it was great to see Cameron Moynihan brought out and told. We get to learn that he plays Cal Kestis, and he's a Jedi that is basically a young Jedi that survived Order 66. He was a Padawan at the time, and he has to basically rediscover what it is to be a Jedi again throughout the course of that game. Before we get into everything again, I should note that typically at this point in the episode, I would do the news segment or I would just talk about some of the news that happened in the Star Wars galaxy over the course of the past week. However, a little inside baseball for you all. I pre-recorded this episode, so this week plus next week's will be pre-recorded. There will be no Cloud City gossip over the next couple of weeks, as I will be away on a well-deserved vacation. If you have PTO in your line of work, be sure to take it. Take time away. It's okay. So that's why I will be taking care of some episodes ahead of time. I hope you enjoy them while I'm out on a beach hanging out and relaxing. And I hope that you all take time away this summer as well. Maybe have a little bit of Star Wars in your adventures as you travel out and about, or if you just stay at home, that's okay too. Just be sure to take time away for yourself, one way, shape, or form. I was so excited. Well, again, I love. Yeah. So just be aware of that. And as we get into our discussion here, just remember I may talk spoilers here and there for the game Fallen Order. So if you haven't played that game or you don't want to be spoiled to things about it yet, feel free to pause this episode right here, right now. Go finish playing that game. It's kind of long actually, but you will eventually get to there and then come back to this episode right here, right now, and to get ready for this new video game that's coming out very soon, hopefully. So what I want to do is similar to what we've done in the past for all of the other trailers that have come out. I mean, come on, we're still kind of playing catch up from all the news that came out during Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, right? We finally went through the Andor trailer. We went through all of Kenobi. We talked about all the big panels for the most part. Golly gee, I'm looking at my episodes list right now of things to talk about. And just from Celebration alone, there's a lot of things still yet to discuss personally. So we got the Fallen Order trailer, we got Bad Batch Season 2, got my experience at Galaxy's Edge to talk about, a little bit of Johnny Williams, the summer vacation special from Lego Star Wars is coming up, the Willow trailer, of course. There's a lot of great stuff that is coming down the pipeline for Force Ghost Conversation. So again, be sure to subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends about us, tell your family about us, take us on the road with you, take us to work with you. We're here for it all. Get ready, get hyped, get excited. Anywho, back to the Star Wars Jedi Survivor discussion. So similarly to what we've done in the last couple of episodes where we've talked about trailers, what I like to do is watch the trailer live here on the podcast. Now, I have done a couple watches of the trailer to kind of take my own notes on what I think is happening here and some things that I want to ramble on about later on. But I think there's something to be said about the live narration of it. And I've gotten some good feedback from you all saying that you enjoy when I do these types of episodes. So why don't we do that again? And I like the idea of the communal experience. I don't know if any of you at home actually watch along when I start the trailers. I don't know if you do. I don't play any of the audio, so it kind of gives more of that play along sense at home. I also don't want to get flagged for any copyright infringement. That's definitely not what I want at all. But I like thinking that some of you at home maybe queue up the trailer at the same time, put it side by side with this episode, and we kind of just like can geek out together, like we're sitting around the Force Ghost Conversations campfire and having a good time chatting Star Wars together. That's really what the point of this podcast is overall. And I'd like to do that again with the Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer. Now, go to any site on the webs on the internets that has videos. You'll probably be able to find it one way, shape, or form. I'm currently on YouTube. I have searched for Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer. And I'm currently on the EA Star Wars YouTube page. And I've got the trailer all queued up, ready to go, ready to hit play, and ready to talk about what I see as it happens, as it unfolds. So for those of you at home, this is your time. Pull up another device, your iPads, another phone, perhaps, your TV, computer, something along those lines. Search something along the lines as well as a Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer, and you'll probably find something. I know there's a lot of different other sites that put up things about the trailer as well. And once you have that queued up, I'm going to hit the play button in a few seconds here, and then I will live chat my thoughts on this all. So if you're ready at home, I'm ready. So we're going to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit and play. All right. Hear the sounds of the stormtroopers walking through. There's this image of something in looks like a Bacta tank. It's pretty cool. There's the Stinger Mantis. It looks like it might have crashed somewhere. Looks like maybe like a rocky desertish planet. We're going to talk about the dialogue that underlines this later, but it looks like this Powan person is the one that is saying it. Ooh, good images of Cal in the fight mode here. He's fighting some type of Sith user, maybe another Inquisitor. That'd be cool. I wonder what's inside this box here. Is he looking at the lightsaber? Does he get it taken away from him? What happens there? Of course, there's this person that's still in the Bacta tank. Who is this person? What are they doing? What are they healing from? How long they've been there? Of course, there's Cal and BD1. Cal Kestis, ladies and gentlemen, back in the fold. And it concludes with the title card, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and that great score in the background. The music for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is really epic and special. If you're a fan of Star Wars music overall and just kind of the long form music that you can play at work or perhaps, and it take up like 3 or 4 hours of your time, but doesn't really like repeat itself over and again, go check out the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order soundtrack on your streaming platforms of choice, and you will not regret it. Trust me, it was a really great experience when I did it a couple months ago. So that is the trailer for Star Wars Jedi Survivor that dropped during the Great Convention Star Wars Celebration. And let's do some talk. I got some notes about it. Let's talk about it a little bit here. First, I want to discuss the title, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I think it's a good title overall. What do you all think at home? I think it's a pretty good one. It shows that we've moved on past the order that has fallen, right? The Star Wars Jedi, the Jedi itself as an institution are pretty much extinct. As a operating body, they are no more, so to speak. So now everyone that is left are quote unquote survivors. And that is basically Cal in a nutshell, where we find him at this point in the game, or in the story, if you will. It is still the dark times. Clearly, the Empire is at its most powerful, maybe at this point. Depends if you want to consider the Empire having a height. It's definitely during that dark times period. It's set between the events of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Episode 4, A New Hope. I believe the first game takes place maybe 2 or 3 years post Revenge of the Sith. Don't quote me on that. And I think this game is set another few years later. I think I've heard somewhere it's maybe 5 after the first one. So again, don't quote me on that. This kind of takes place, ideally in my head, around the same time where Solo and Obi-Wan Kenobi take place in the Star Wars timeline. But I really like this title. I'm intrigued to see how it plays out for the overall story in the game, but it's just the title alone. I'm all right with it. Now, the story in Game 1 is really, like I've mentioned before, it's really about overcoming Cal's trauma. You spend a lot of time going back to his time being a Padawan and learning lessons, relearning lessons, basically, because he's had to shut them off in his life in order to survive as a post-Order 66 Jedi. He's definitely not pulling out his lightsaber all the time until you really get the game going. He has to relearn how to like connect to the Force and learn different Force techniques and lightsaber skills and whatnot. That's all part of the game. That's good stuff. and overcoming obviously the big overlooming trauma that was Order 66 and losing his master and all that. And it's really about, at the end of the day, setting your own path, creating this found family, choosing to look beyond what we were in the past and all that. All the stuff that is similar to the story at large that is Star Wars. At the end of the day now, Cal Kestis is a survivor. There's no way to put it plainly there. He is a survivor. Well, I liked is seeing the images of the Stinger Mantis, or just the Mantis for short. The ship is back. It's the primary ship that you utilize to go from point A to point B on in the game Jedi Fallen Order. So it's great that it's back, which means we're probably going to be reunited with the crew, which consists of Cal, his droid BD1, who is phenomenal, wonderful buddy droid, Seer, who is a former Jedi that has since kind of not has shut herself off from the Force. That's the way to phrase that. Yep. And it's Pilot Grease, who I absolutely love. He is kind of this grumpy, middle-aged person that we all aspire to be. Love that pilot. Love the crew. It's great stuff. Their banter throughout the first one is excellent. So I hope that we get to see that again in this game. Now, I hope that the ship is okay, because clearly they're not in it when we see it in the trailer here. And I also hope that, well, I'd say to that point too, you see it like kind of crash land somewhere. It takes like a tumble and it's on this like rocky planet. So who knows what's going on in the midst there. Be intrigued to and hope that the ship is still intact and all that stuff at the end of the series or the game. Unlike the Razor Crest, which rests in peace. I said when I was doing the watch of the trailer that I'd come back to the overlaying dialogue here. So the dialogue in the trailer is, why lead when they won't follow? Why fight when you can't win? What is your next move, Jedi? These are great questions. This is really good thought-provoking dialogue that's in this trailer. Why lead when someone won't follow you? It's a great question. Are you a leader if you don't have followers? Are you inspiring? Leadership is all about inspiration. If you're not inspiring anybody, are you really leading? Now, why fight when you can't win? It's probably because you have a cause you believe in. You're fighting for a better tomorrow. Sometimes winning isn't the definition of winning is different for everybody. What are your goals and outcomes? That's a good question as well. And then he asks, "What is?" Or I shouldn't assume the gender. What are they asking next? Is what is your next move, Jedi? That's a good question. I don't know. These are wonderful questions that I hope that are answered at some point within the game. I think it will. I think that's a pretty fair assumption. The person that is saying this dialogue is a Pauan person. They are from Utapau. There's the species that's specifically from that planet, which is featured predominantly in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. That's where Obi-Wan Kenobi tracks General Grievous to, and then takes out Grievous, and that's where the beginnings of Order 66 for Kenobi take place. So it's really where the Clone Wars ends, is right there. Most famously from that movie, Tian Madan is the kind of person that we assume is in charge of the city on Utapau that Kenobi lands on. More recently, we got the Grand Inquisitor, who was featured in both Star Wars Rebels and the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, played in live action by Rupert Friend, who's also a Pauan species. So that's cool. There's a lot of connections to the Star Wars galaxy here. Looks like this person might be on Coruscant too, which leads me to believe, are they a part of the Empire in some way, shape, or form? Are they part of the Underground? It looks like the person is opening this box, so to speak. And from what I can glean from the trailer is that the box holds Cal's lightsaber. So it makes me wonder, does he lose it at some point during the game? Is it something that you must sacrifice in order to escape, in order to survive? Do you throw it away so that he's not being hunted down, or like an easier way to not denote that he is in fact a Jedi, a Force user, someone that's not with the dark side or the Inquisitors? Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if it's like a quest for him to get his lightsaber back, right? Because he maybe loses it at the beginning of the game. I don't know. I don't know. We see him fight with it a little bit, so I think he's gonna have it to some degree. It will be interesting. It will be interesting. The trailer, of course, gets to the end, and we see our friends Cal Kestis and BD1 back. BD1, fantastic droid. Remember from the Book of Boba Fett at Pelimoto's kind of refurbishing shop, where the N1 starfighter is built. That little droid that's running around with the 2 legs that's hopping around and all that. BD1, or I don't know if that's BD1 actually. I think it's just a BD droid unit. But that is pretty cool that he's now in live action. A lot of fan feedback about loving this character and has gone to the heights of bringing these characters into the larger canon overall. And I will say, there's a great like close up image of them. Just overall, the visuals from this trailer are a massive step up from the first one, which really had excellent visuals to begin with. So they've really outdone themselves. The team behind this, I think, is Respawn, EA, Lucasfilm Games, maybe. They've really all stepped up their game for this game, all pun intended. I think the big question to take away from this all is, who's in the Bacta tank? Is that a Zepho? Which is kind of the person or the race that Cal is on the hunt for throughout the course of the events of the first game. I would probably put my money on that right now. How long has that person been in that tank? Where are they in this Bacta tank? Like, where are they in the galaxy at this point in time? What did it take to get to them? Are there any other people of similar race in a similar situation? What are the wounds that required them to be in there? These are all wonderful questions that the game. This is really a great trailer to get you excited, to show enough visuals to get you excited for what the game has overall, where it's going to go as a series. Just a little bit of hints as to who may possibly be villains overall in the game. But kind of gives you a sense of the end game, a reminder of where they were going from the first one. I think it's a Zepho, if I had to put any money on it. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Watching this trailer, though, and talking about it really has made me question if I should do a replay very soon here. And maybe I'll put a poll up. Maybe I should do like a play along or something like that, and do a couple streams on the YouTube. Maybe wonder if you guys would be interested in something like that. I'll put up something on the Twitters and all that stuff, and we'll see what you all think about it. I like to give the people what they want here on Force Ghost Conversations, and if that involves playing along to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, then we will make that happen some way, shape, or form. But I might need to do a replay soon. I thoroughly enjoyed the game, the story overall. It is a little slow for me at the beginning. Some of the mechanics aren't necessarily the most user friendly for someone that isn't the biggest gamer, and I would say that some of the maps are a little big because you do have to do a lot of traveling. And again, the hints of like where something is may not necessarily be super straightforward on a map, so you're gonna have to do a lot of investigating, a lot of backtracking, a lot of thinking about through how to do puzzles and stuff like that. So it can be a little bit of a head scratcher at times. But overall, once you get it going, and definitely when you get to the last half of the game, it just kind of flows all the way through, especially to the end where you're in literally the Fortress Inquisitorius, trying to save your friends and all that stuff, and fighting off Inquisitors and Vader is really, really excellent stuff. Especially now that we have more visual canon of all this stuff being codified in the live action sense with Obi-Wan Kenobi, where there's a very similar escape and all that. So with that all, I might need to do a replay soon. At this point, we're not sure exactly when Star Wars Jedi Survivor comes out. I've seen some thoughts that we do know 2023, so that's what we do know. But I have seen some various reports, I think from maybe like the PlayStation Store, Steam, perhaps somewhere on the internet, someone's claiming that they're thinking March 2023. Don't quote me on that at all. That can obviously change. And even when they do announce when a game release date is happening, that can obviously all change at a moment's notice, as we've seen with Star Wars Hunters. The Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game definitely had some revolving release dates as well. But I would personally, selfishly, really love a March 2023 release date, as that is around my birthday time. So that would be a wonderful birthday gift for myself. With that, we're at the end of our episode, everybody. What did you all think of this trailer? Did you enjoy it? Did you like the first game? Are you excited that the story is continuing? Let me know. Let us know. Follow us on all the social media channels. Continue the conversation there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. We're on all of them. Just search Force Ghost Conversations. We'll pop up in some way, shape, or form. We'd love to continue to grow the seats around the proverbial campfire here at Force Ghost Conversations, so be sure to give us a subscribe on your podcast site of choice. If you can, leave us a rating, a review. That really helps to get the show to grow. And more importantly, tell your friends about us. Tell them to, if they like Star Wars, get them involved with the Force Ghost Conversation social media channels and all on the podcast feeds that we're on. Tell them to take a listen, and maybe they like what we're dishing over here. That'd be cool. We love when more people come around and share their points of views and opinions. That's what makes Star Wars fun. It makes it engaging. It makes it really cool to talk about when you get a lot of passionate people together to talk about something great like this. So with that, everybody, we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Remember, these episodes are pre-recorded in advance, so thank you for your patience when it comes to all this, as I will be out on vacation. But I hope that you all have a wonderful week ahead of you. I certainly know that I am. So I hope that you have a great time in all the endeavors that you're undertaking this week. I hope that Star Wars pops its way into those conversations in some way, shape, or form throughout the course of the time. And we'll be back before you know it with a brand new episode. So with that, everybody, thank you again for listening. May the Force be with you. Take care.